Hey up everybody, I hope you're all well. I just wanted to get this quick one in before I got it sent away. So this is one of the first Cerakoted blades that I've got finished off that I showed you on my last video. So black Cerakoted blade, so it's black satin. The handles are black acrylic with white liners in there. Oh, I think I just caught this in there. It's sort of like a white ripple effect. And it's got the yellow Turbo Glow liners on it. It does come out a little bit greenish, but they are the yellow ones. They work out about 3mm thick, so they're quite a thick piece to put on there. But there we go. Got the logo on there for what they wanted on the opposite side. But I'm quite happy how that's come out. So I've got a few more that are all glued up, and a few other blades that are all glued up, getting ready for the handles shaping up. But other than that, just have a look at that one. And this one's going out very soon. Right then, I'm going to try out my Kalashnikov of sewing machines. I think you actually get one free with every AK-47 you buy. Tons of them on the market. Get them on eBay for like I say, 70, 80 quid, something like that. So what the plan I've got for this one is to make a drag bag for a deer. So I'm going to make it out some very heavy duty tarpaulin. I think this is a type of stuff that you'd use for curtain sidings on wagons, on trailers. So I've got some of that stuff. I've got some heavy duty thread, the heavy duty needles. I hope it'll match, and I hope it does actually work with this sewing machine, because that'll be the main thing to try out. And I've got some thick webbing. I think this is like, what is it, 1.5mm webbing. I've got some 1mm stuff as well, slightly different patterning on the weave on it, but I've got this stuff to try out. Won't be used for hotels. So the first thing I've got to do, just shift my phone out of the way, looking at my ugly mug. I've obviously got my design work sorted, which is just a scrap of paper with some doodling on. Cut the pattern out that I want. It's basically just a square pattern with a flap over that I've just got to sort out. The main job is stitching the webbing onto the bag. I have noticed with some others I've had a look at that they actually, when they're dragging the deer, they put a rope around the deer and then put the bag around the deer itself to drag it out. The idea with this one though is to actually drag it from the bag. So the idea for this bag is that you can put the deer into it, drag it from one place to another without getting it dirty, as in going through a lot muddy areas, but be able to leave it inside the bag, and if there's somebody else about, they've actually got to open the bag up to see what's in it, rather than, oh, they can see a bit of a deer hanging out at the side of it. So I know some people work in areas where members of the public are walking about, so it's just to minimise the amount of possibility there's people seeing what you're up to. So I'm going to try and sort this out. It's a bit windy outside, so I might need the assistance of a small child to be able to pin the sheet down while I cut it out. But let's give it a go. And if you don't watch this video, it's probably because it's failed. Sorry about the wind noise, I need to get a cover for that one. Right, so that's got it laid out. I just need to cut out the parts that I've got. So this is a 8 foot by 10 foot sheet. I'm splitting it down so they're going to be 2 5-foot lengths, possibly going back 5 foot or maybe 6 foot as well. But I can't be telling that, can't be saying what the dimensions are just yet. Got to see if it works. Right, let's put this back down. So I've been playing about with the old Kalashnikov here. I think I've got it running right. I had to sort out some tensions. I've changed the thread on it. All stuff that I have no idea what I'm doing. But I have had a play about with a bit of scrap. So I've got a piece of the webbing, doubled over, and also a piece of the tarpaulin on the end. And the stitching line seems to look all right. So I'm quite happy that it's going to set up. It's set up right for how I want it. So my next job then is to get me a big piece of tarpaulin, what I'm going to do with this, because it's folded over on the edges, because of the size that it is, I'm leaving one side as it is. I'm just going to put a few eyelets down this bottom piece, but this opposite side, I'm going to fold this over, and this is going to get two lines of eyelets all the way down it, just so it can be overlapped, again, so you can't see them from the top. Well, that's the idea anyway. So it's going to have a 2-inch overlap. I'm going to glue that in first, and then I'll put a stitching line down it just to hold it a little bit more secure. Then the eyelet's got to be fitted to that, and I've also got, just out of shot, the lid piece. Now, once all that's all stitched on, I'm then going to stitch on the webbing for the pull straps. I might just mark all that out, get it all ready. What I'm going to do with the webbing is I'm going to put a patch on the underside or the inside of the bag, and then put a loop, double piece over, and put the loop stitched on from the outside. So there should be like 3 pieces of webbing plus the tarpaulin. Might just check that, just make sure it all stitches, but I think it will. Get the positions where they need to be. The reason I'm putting the webbing on the inside is just to give it an extra piece of strength, that's all. Because I think it just needs it. If I stitch straight onto the tarpaulin, I don't think it's going to be strong enough. Or I think there's a chance where the thread could get caught on something and come off. So I think if I just double it up a bit more, it should be alright. Try that. So what I think I'll do is put a foot of webbing on the inside of the drag bag, which is about there. So if I cut 2 pieces of them, I'm going to glue these in place just so they hold them. I'm not too bothered if the glue don't hold too well, because I'm going to stitch it on top of anyway. It's just giving me an idea of where these two are going to go. So I'll stitch those on, and then I'll cut the loops out. So again, the loop's going to be, I'll take this pin out, so they're going to be at least foot long plus enough for the loop at the front, and that's to put either a bit of rope through, or it's also to be able to put your hand into it and drag it as well. See what that works out at. A bit more than that. Right, there we go. That's them stitched on. What an absolute ball ache. Anyway, next job is to put the lid section, the flap onto it. Now what I might do is just take these rivets out, get a pair of pliers onto them and just cut them out, because it'd be easy to cut them out and then stitch everything back on. So I think I'll do that, and then flap, that's already there, so I'll stitch that along the inside. And that should fit there. Looks like it'll fit. So let's try it. Whoa! What a job! There we go. Looking at the wrong thing, I'm looking at my phone rather than the camera. There we go, stitched on. Like I say, I don't think I'll be making Paddington Bears. Anyway, that'll do for the time being. Next thing I've got to sort out is the eyelets down the side, but that's easy enough. It says it's easy enough, but I've got the eyelets to go in and the stamps. In fact, I'll show you them. There we go. I know I'll find them eventually. So these are, I think they're in 2 parts. right actually. Look, they're not quite as big as the ones that are on the tarpaulin as it is. But so look, yeah. So you basically got your almost right on the floor. So the first ring with the collar on it, put the other one over the top, and then you press it all together. So the die set, I've got a stamp, well, cutter to go through the top, and then this is the die set that you put it all into. So that into the bottom, so rather the coloured piece on first, put it through the top, and put this over the top, and then just tap it down. But we'll have a go with that in the morning, I think. That'll do it for today. Whew. Yeah. I might make one or two of them, but I can't see us doing too many more. Right, see you morning. Back for the morning shift, and the next thing is to put the eyelets into this drag bag. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use these eyelets that are still there, and I'm going to put another one in between, so that makes them probably about 10 inches I think. And then on the opposite side, don't worry about the amazing stitching, I'm going to put 2 eyelets so I can overlap the bag onto it, so they can tie up in between. Possibly I might put the eyelet there so it's over well inside. Yeah, that I might do. And then sort of put one there and one there so it ties up in between each one, because otherwise you've got to, if you put one there, you've got to loop it round on the outside, and it's not exactly what I want to do. So get those measured up and I'll get them sorted. See how we get on. So trying to work out a method for tying it up, what I've gone for is making loops. So the first loop is tied up, the first bit of string is tied up to the top. You pull it through, make a loop, and then that goes through there. So that's your first one. Pull the rest of the line through. Pull it tight. Move down to your next one. Again, making a loop. Feed through the first one, out through the next one, through the flap on the other side, or the eyelet on the opposite side, line through, and pull tight. There we go. Obviously I need to have a bit of work on that bit, but it's worth a try anyway. So the next time we're out in the field, I'll try and get some video footage of it being used, which hopefully is coming up next. If not, we weren't very successful. So a successful morning, not for me though. I'm trying out this bag. The straps are too far apart on it. Oh.
That's loads easier already, mate.
Yeah?
Yeah, loads easier.
I think I need to sort the stitching out at the bottom here. Try and work that out. There we go, and we're back. Dragged it over at mud, and we're still clean as a whistle. Well, you've seen Mark 1 being dragged by John and myself. From that, we've gone on for a few other little tweaks that we're trying out. So the other bag, the first original one, was 2'6" wide. This one is now 2 foot wide, so we're basically taking a foot of material off, and we're going to see how that works. We've also removed the flap that was on the top, and instead of having the flap holding in, a couple of eyelets at the top, so the top gets tied together. Still got the eyelets at the bottom like we had for the original ones. Something else that I'm going to add, because the straps at the top were level with the edge of the bag. Taking them in slightly, and I'm going to get some oval eyelets, put these onto the top of the bag, and then what the idea is then these straps will feed through the eyelets and then hold the top together when you pull it all together. So hopefully we're going to try that one out at some point soon. I need to get the eyelets, so I'm not quite sure when they're going to come. As soon as that's done, this one's going on to John to be able to try out, because he does a lot more deer control than what I do, and we might even do another slight tweak. But basically, there we go. What I'll do is I'll put some specifications in the corner, so it gives you an idea of what the size is and how much it weighs. And then I'm also going to try and roll it up and see what sort of size I can get it down to. So, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.